Hello guys, welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. My name is Cam. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. Unbelievable game. We'll talk about that in a second. Before we do, I'm just going to give a massive shout out to the channel sponsor, Foco. If you haven't checked out Foco, it's a website for all your merchandise needs. You don't have to support Chelsea, but it's better if you do. There's loads of stuff on there, guys. If you want to kit your rooms out or kit yourself out, Hawaiian shirts, sliders. We've got the Lego sets. We've got the gnomes over there. Everything you need really as a football fan is on there. And if you use the code cfctvyt, it will be pinned below me on this on the video. You get 15% off. Let's get straight into the video. Hello guys, welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. My name is Cam. I'm joined in the studio today by Scott. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. Unbelievable game. Absolutely unbelievable. Big shout out to Scotty before we get started. Travelled here 2.5 hours today, so thanks for joining us, mate. But yeah, I mean, we're just gonna. I was gonna say where do we start, but there's one place we should start. Palmer. Wow,
100%. Yeah,
what a performance today.
Honest, best performance of the season from him. I mean, even without the 4 goals, unreal. Where do you begin? I mean, good place to start is what got the hat trick. That free kick. If you haven't watched the live, I mean, you probably have, but you would have seen mine and Cam's reactions. Go back and watch it if you haven't. I mean, that was some free kick. Ward-Prowse-esque.
Literally, yeah.
But yeah, it was unreal, unreal performance. I think first 10, 15 minutes was a bit shaky, but then we got that first goal, had some chances, and from there just kicked on, really.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, let's just go back to that free kick. I think Gusto was stood over it, wasn't it? And me and you said to each other, we went,
Nah.
looks a bit far out, this. He's taken it, and it's just flown. Top right-hand corner.
Top bins.
That is contender for the goal of the season. I mean, we're early on, but I think that'll probably get it at this stage.
So
I'm not sure what can top that, to be honest.
So,
it was I don't think the keeper got a touch to it, did he?
I think he might have got fingertips.
Might have got
but
fingertips, but fuck me, it was unbelievable.
I think their keeper's like 6'8" or something. He's a tall dude. He's one of the tallest keepers, I think, in the league. He's a tall dude, and that was top bins. You know, picture perfect, and it was kind of the highlight of the whole game. I mean, he had the penalty, which was a nice bit of play previously. I think it was him and Sancho linking up. Yeah, because it was his pass out to Sancho, and then got the penalty from there.
Yeah. And
the other 2 goals, it was an all-round, I think from an attacking point of view today, all-round perfect performance.
Mate, do you know what? It was brilliant. First 20 minutes was pretty poor. And I mean, what a change that the boys made. And that's good to see, because it takes a bit of courage to, go 1-0 down early on and then think, maybe we need to get into gear here. It did take a little while. Sometimes it takes 10, 15, 20 minutes to get into gear as a team, but by God, when they did it, didn't they?
100%. And I think you talk about kind of going down. That's the first, I think that's the outside of the City game. It's City. That's the first time I think this season we've gone down.
Yeah.
First, and if we'd have played that last season, I think this is the biggest difference. Is if we'd had that game last season, we might maybe get back into it, but it takes us most of the game. We maybe get a draw. It takes a while. Yeah. But you saw today, it was what we conceded, I think 14-ish minutes.
Yeah.
And within about 6 minutes, we'd already had 2 chances, and then we score. And from there, we just kicked on.
From 19 minutes to the 27th minute, I think there was two offside goals.
Mm-hmm. The goal we score.
2 normal goals. Or 1 or 2 normal goals. And several other chances. I mean, what a 10 minutes that was. That was a pinnacle turning point in the game. Palmer, we'll let you off. I mean, there was a sitter that you missed, mate, but we'll let you off today. It's all right, mate. But obviously, you got the penalty, hit the post as well, and there's another couple which I think...
Had one with his weaker foot, could have scored.
Yeah, I mean, I've not got the best memory at the best of times, but trying to remember them all today is going to be a struggle. But wow, so many chances, wasn't there? And that's what we said. With Brighton playing that high line, they did get caught out several times, didn't they? I think they thought it was going to work with a little offside trap in the first 20 minutes. It started to work for them, but I mean, when we got into the swing of things, they were getting caught out, and yeah, it was a cracking performance.
And that's we mentioned it last week when we played West Ham. That's what having those type of players, when your Madueke's, your Jacksons, even Nkunku, he came on later on. Neto the same. Having those type of players to run in behind, and having your Palmer, Enzo's, even Caicedo, Lavia as well, having those guys who have that ability to pick out those passes. We saw it against West Ham last week on the counter. We saw it this week with Brighton's high line. I imagine we'll see it when we play Tottenham.
Yeah.
And against other teams as well. We have that ability we haven't had in previous years to both do the kind of nice passing moves. We had I think our first goal we scored. Oh no, the one where Palmer hit the post was the 2 passes right through the middle, Cole to Enzo, Enzo to Palmer.
I was going to say
we had that.
I was going to say that's the best pass of the game for me. The Enzo into Palmer. I think it was straight.
There was one that Palmer did in the second half, which I thought was better to Jackson, which is when Webster cleared off the line. But I do agree that was up there. But we have the ability to do that and then go from that to a one ball kind of. I hate calling it route one, but it was. But it's not. You'll just lump it forward to a big man. It was a in behind, on the counter. And we have the ability to do both this season, which is nice to see. We haven't had that in so long. And it just gives all of our players, even Jackson today, I didn't think he had his best game. I thought he was good, but missed a few chances. But, he's getting 5-6 chances a game. Last season, we had how many games did we have to wait before we were seeing Jackson get 5-6 chances a game? Never.
No. And it's we'll go into Jackson in a minute. I think it was almost completely different today, wasn't it? Because it's good to see the 2 styles. I mean, against West Ham, I felt like we went a lot more sort of through the wings. But today, it shows we can do things centrally as well. There's a lot of teams in the Prem. It's not easy to go right through the middle of them. How many times did we do it today? Just went straight down the middle. It was unbelievable.
And I think that goes back to what we spoke about last week with the midfield. I think, again today, start 10-15 minutes was a bit poor. I think especially Caicedo looked a bit nervous is the wrong word, but he was getting caught on the ball a couple of times. Didn't look as assured as he did last season. After we scored, after we got in the game, those 2 in midfield, I thought Caicedo more of the same as excellent he's been so far. And then Enzo, I think, I don't know what's happened. I don't know whether it's the captaincy. I don't know whether it's
good to see
the new manager. I don't know what it is, but he has, the last 2 games, turned it around. His calmness on the ball, getting stuck in, his ability to pick those passes, always had that. We're just seeing it more now. Just everything about him so far at the moment, I think, has completely shifted.
Yeah.
Especially the last couple of weeks. And I think it's great to see. And I think we're starting to see an actual partnership build between those 2 that I think a lot of people, especially last season, had written off. I think most people of what I'm seeing online is, Enzo and Caicedo can't play together. It's got to be one or the other. Lavia has to come in, which I was part of, Lavia has to start. But now it's I don't think you can drop either of them. Rotate when need be, but right now they are both starters in this team.
Yeah, and this is a team not only, last season, but sort of weeks ago where people were dishing out comments like, this team's got no chemistry. Now, I think the chemistry between this team's probably one of the best in the Prem.
I agree.
At the moment. So, if you're watching and you said that, you're wrong. But let's move on, mate. We've got to talk obviously about the back end. Sorry, we were gonna talk about Jackson, weren't we? I thought he had a good game today. I thought we had a lot of chances on goal. We spoke about it during the game, Scotty, didn't we? Where you could see when he was coming off, he was really disappointed and he was sort of having a go at himself. But I think he takes responsibility and he knows he's had some brilliant performances the last couple of weeks. Maybe not so good today with the misses and stuff, but they were tight angles. Let's not forget that. But he's a lad that doesn't blame the pitch, doesn't blame the ball, doesn't blame the ref. He blames himself if he's not good.
100%.
And I felt a bit sorry for him today because he was coming off kicking himself. But you know what? He's still got a massive round of applause and it's not forgotten what he's done in the previous weeks. So,
no, I agree. And I think just on the round of applause, I do, for once, we didn't have the sound on during the game, but from what we could see from when the guys came off like Cucurella, Jackson, it seemed like the Chelsea fans were in good spirits and at least giving plaudits, fair play to those that attended. It's nice to see that we actually have that compared to the first game of the season, what we had last season. But yeah, with Jackson, it's a weird one because I agree with you. I think he played well. He does so many good things in the game.
Yeah.
Where he holds the ball really well. His link up play is nice. His runs in behind are timed well most of the time. Where he's able to create space for others. It's just then he'll have games like this where he does miss 3 or 4 chances.
Yeah.
I think especially obviously the one that was cleared off the line, I think was a good block. Maybe could have taken a bit earlier. Had another one where it took one extra touch than he needed to. But no, I think it was a good performance. And I think what I think of performances like these is if you can do enough of these performances, obviously he's already scoring, so this is kind of doesn't really apply. But if you can have enough of these performances where you do enough other things in the game, the goals will come. We've already seen he scored, which is why I said it doesn't really apply. But if he plays this game, 9 times out of 10, he gets at least 1 goal.
Yeah.
It just happened to be the game today where he didn't.
Like a law of averages.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Like if he has games like this where he gets these many chances, in most games he'll score one. He'll have the games where he doesn't, and we expect that with Jackson. But most games he'll score. He'll play like this. He'll score.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not too disappointed with him today.
Absolutely. And look, loads and loads of positives to take from today, and we're not taking anything away from the win, but we have to talk about what went wrong. Being a fan, we have to talk about the negatives as well. Sanchez, don't personally think he had his best game today. I mean, he had a bit of a shocker first half. I thought he was a bit better second half, but he didn't really have much to deal with, did he? Let's be honest. In terms of the second half, the first half, I thought he made some great saves, but when the ball was at his feet again, it's a little bit like panic, and it's been like that for a while, isn't it? When the ball's at his feet, it's not the best of scenarios. But then again, I thought Caicedo made a poor pass back to. I'm not quite sure.
It was Colwell, yeah. Caicedo didn't clear it.
He sort of had to. Something got cleared out, and then it come back in, and then the other one was where he come rushing out, didn't he, Sanchez?
Yeah, that was the first one. So
and almost did a Superman dive.
Yeah,
don't know what he was doing there. He should have just stayed put. But mistakes happen. We still got the win. But yeah, Sanchez, he wasn't brilliant today, was he?
No, I think that was a type of performance we would have seen last season, and I think was common last season with Sanchez, where even when he makes some good saves, like he makes mistakes that cost us goals. I mean, he was at fault, whether partially in the first goal or completely in the second goal, for both goals we conceded. Yeah, the first one, I'm trying to understand what goes through his head in that moment, because like he has to run nearly the entire width of his box to get that ball.
I think it might have been even further.
It was in the box, I know that much, luckily. But he had to run
up outside the box.
He had to run basically the whole width of his box to get that ball. Didn't get the ball, missed it completely. Obviously not his fault that it gets in that position.
No. It was a culmination of things that led up to that point.
But yeah, at that point he's involved. That's
ultimately, when the shot came in,
there was no goalkeeper.
Funny enough, you weren't there, mate.
I said there was no goalkeeper because he was out of his box.
And I thought Cole could have got a leg to it as well.
Maybe I'd have to go back and rewatch it.
It was in slow motion, so I can't fully say yet. But
yeah, but no, that was that one, and then the second one. Oh my god! It was. I said it on the live stream. That was nearly a carbon copy of the Rice goal from last season against Arsenal. Yeah. Just like again, it's not entirely his fault because I think Fofana dawdles on the ball that Brighton can step up, but once he gets the ball, he's trying to pass to someone who's on the back foot, not ready to receive it, and Baleba gets in, and then.
And mate, we say this as well. Like, this is preventable pressure. Mm-hmm. When it comes to short passes at the back, especially when the press comes up, you can't. I mean, when you're him in that situation, you just have to hoof the ball out. I don't know why you're trying to play a short pass. And it's stupid. And there's playing out from the back, and then there's when they've got the press up, trying to work something. Just hoof it. Just get it out.
And the thing
get it out of danger.
What I think people get confused with is because I don't think in that situation you have to necessarily hoof it in terms of just get it as far up the pitch. Yeah. Just do a long ball. Like instead of trying to pass, I think it was Caicedo in that position. Maybe play it out wide to I think Sanchez or something. Try and still play. Yeah. In the system. Yeah. But just try instead of doing a short pass.
In front of you to another player.
try and beat that first line of press. Yeah. And then go from there. But yeah, that was terrible. But yeah, I thought, like you said, a couple of nice saves. Yeah. Kept us in the game in points.
Absolutely. And we're not going to take that away from Sanchez. There's one of them where he sort of dived, I think, made a great dive and save where it was going to go far corner. I think it was Danny Welbeck that had the shot.
I think so. There was the one where it deflected off Colwell, had to put out a hand to save it. It was a nice reaction.
Yeah, made some good saves, but 2 goals that were easily preventable. But let's talk about the defence anyway, mate. I thought Cucurella had a fantastic game today. I know he got an early yellow card. That's why he got brought off. But he's another player today. It's made me smile, actually, because when you saw him come off, we couldn't hear anything, but you could almost hear it, if you know what I mean, because you could see the whole stadium was in elation. And to see, as you mentioned, Scott, to see players that were getting slated last year and getting booed off to now getting that is really nice to see. And he was smiling. Everyone looked so happy today, minus maybe Jackson when he come off, but Sancho looked really happy. If Sancho can can look happy, but clapping the fans, and it just felt like almost a real unite between the fans and the players today, didn't it?
That's what it feels like with this team, and that's what part like winning does that obviously, but I think Maresca has helped with that. Because of the way he's come in, the way he's acting, the way he's kind of dealt with this squad. It's harsh in some ways, but also being as in the ways he's being harsh, it's also bringing the team together because they know where they stand and they know where the buck stops. And then you can get some real harmony. And you've got guys in the team like Sancho, Madueke, Jackson, Palmer, like Cucurella as well. Like you've got all these guys who seemingly really get on, like off the pitch as well. But yeah, no, I thought defensively, shaky at times again, first 10, 15 minutes. But I thought after that, once we actually got into the game and started playing a bit more, we were better. I think I think Gusto slow to get into the game, but once he got into the game was excellent. And I think Cucurella again, excellent. 2 centre-backs, I think that was probably like one of, at least the first 10, 15 minutes, it was poor from Cole Williams in particular. I thought Fofana actually today, like he's been someone so far that I've been quite critical of. I think that he's been slow, and that's understandable considering the injury, but he's been slow so far to kind of get back to his best. But I thought today was a lot better from him. I thought he was the better of the 2 centre-backs. Obviously got a yellow card, though I don't think it was really his fault. Had to recover from when we lost the ball.
And sometimes you got to make those challenges, haven't you?
But yeah, I thought he looked a lot better today. I think he is starting to find his feet a bit more. It's obviously going to take more time to get back to his best, but I think he's starting to find his feet. We're seeing some chemistry with the back 2 and with the goalkeeper, even though we conceded 2 today. And it's just going to build. And obviously we're going to concede. Like that's the nature of the system we play, the age of the centre-backs, just a few things that we're going to concede. But if we can then recover, because I think that's what we didn't have last season, is especially with who was playing and what was happening, we'd concede goals and just capitulate. And it didn't matter whether it was Silva playing, Badiashile, Colwell, whoever, we just capitulate. Whereas now we're conceding, we're having moments of pressure, and we're getting through that. We're scoring ourselves, and then the defence is getting more confident. They can play out from the back more. They can, feel assured when they're defending 1v1. They can feel comfortable. I mean, we saw Fofana do a Ronaldo chop in the first half.
I know.
And then drive into midfield with it. And this is after we'd conceded, I think, at this point. And it's like, we're not seeing that last season. We're not seeing that if we're conceding multiple goals where everyone's down. And I think...
bit of confidence.
Yeah. It's just nice to see, like you said, with the whole team, it's been brought together.
Absolutely. And I know he wasn't on for long. I think he come on sort of 70... I know it was some point in the 70th.
About 70th minute.
Vega. I thought Vega didn't make one mistake when he come on.
Nope.
Made a great challenge as well. Risky challenge, but I mean, if you don't get the ball there, it's a bad one. But he's so pinpoint accurate with it. He just swept the ball, and I thought that was a great challenge as well. But he's an absolute unit, that man.
He is indeed.
And if he can, this is another thing that's crazy for a lot of teams. He'd be. I mean, to have him as a sub coming on today, Vega as a sub, it's just the depth we've got is just crazy.
Well, I just think that it speaks volumes to our scouts, and I know our sporting directors and scouts sometimes get a bad rep with some of the fan base, but a guy like Vega, who last season was playing for Basel, for those who don't know, Basel have been amazing, but last season has been bad recently. Most teams don't sign him.
No.
Because it's just a young guy, Portuguese guy out of the Swiss league. It's like he maybe signs for a championship team, or maybe a Brighton takes a punt on him. We signed him for 10 mil, and I don't think it's too far to say he might go down as one of the best purchases in terms of value for money that we will have done since Aspi.
Yeah, absolute steal. I'm going to say another thing here as well. Okay, I think that the owners deserve an absolute huge amount of credit as well, because I know they got a lot of slate last year, start of this year, but I think the fans have to start giving them a bit of credit, because although I know things haven't been the best and everyone goes, they've spent loads and loads of money, but they still turn up to the games. I know they've had a lot of speculation in the news recently. They've fallen out, Bowley and Egbali. They were sat together last week, and things are really starting to fall into place for the club. And unfortunately, you can't forget that that's all because of what they've done. They put an awful lot of money in, and things are starting to fall into place. Of course, it takes time. When you put that amount of money in, it's always going to take a long period of time. And I didn't really have too many doubts that maybe it would fall into place. But this year's been fantastic. Long may it continue. But they do need to take credit, don't they, Scott?
Yeah, and I think we're seeing this season as well, this whole championship manager nonsense, and all that. Maresca got a lot of criticism, and whether some of it was warranted or not or whatever, I think the fact that they looked kind of past that noise, and still signed him, and it looks like things are progressing well. Obviously, we're only 6 league games this season, but it looks like it's going well. And I think what they're doing, because a lot of the problems that we had last season in terms of a lot of the noise and media attention that they got, it's because we're bad. Like, that's what happens. Like, it happens at United as well because they're bad. Like, if you're good and you win, and like, no, for example, notice how the Cronkies don't get spoken about anymore. Like, no one mentions the Cronkies. Arsenal fans mention Edu from time to time, like this past window. But outside of that, you don't hear it. And they're not really winning titles, but it's because they're challenging. And it's the same. It's like, when we're winning, what are you going to say about the owners when we're winning? At that point, you're just complaining. Like, you're just complaining to be a contrarian and to complain. And at that point, it's like, go away.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I think it's been nice to see. Obviously, we saw them together, I think, last week. Yeah. Hopefully putting some of that to bed. I hope it is all rumours and nonsense. Yeah.
And when you own a football club and things aren't going well, of course you're going to have...
Yeah, and stuff's going to happen.
It's going to be tough, isn't it? I'm just going to say as well, there was a couple of Arsenal fans, if you are watching, there was a couple of your lads that actually tuned in tonight and said they enjoyed watching the game and this stream more than the game, so the Arsenal game, when it was live. So, I mean, if that's not speaking numbers, then I don't know what is. If you play a bit better next week, they might watch your own game. Who knows, Scotty? But look, that's pretty much it from us. I mean, we're going to look forward to... We've got Ghent on Thursday. Yep. 9 o'clock kickoff, late one at the Bridge, 9 o'clock kickoff. Let us know what you think in the comments of that. Some of you might not get home till 1, 2 a.m, depending on where you live. But yeah, crazy kickoff time. I think it's going to be like that around the league, because I looked at one of the other games and that was a 9er as well. And then Forest on Sunday. Yep. What's your thoughts for those 2 games just before we close off?
I think the Ghent game should be a win. I think that's just a progression. Again, it'll be rotated. We'll see the likes of Nkunku, Neto probably start, Vega, etc., etc. And yeah, Forest, I mean, they lost today. Fulham beat him at home. Fulham was away. Forest was at home. Beat him 1-0. And I think that just gives us confidence, because we're going into that game off the back of now, if you count Barrow, 4 wins in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4 wins in a row. Including now 2 at home. That'll be then the 4th home game in a row, potentially off the back of another win against Ghent. So yeah, just hope it continues. I think it can. It's going to be a bit of a different test. They're going to sit back a bit more, try and counter us. But I think if we just continue how we're doing, I think we can, again, get chances, score, hopefully win. Just need to be a bit better defensively, get rid of the mistakes. But yeah, I don't see any reason why this can't continue.
Absolutely. I'm just going to leave you with this. When Palmer was walking through the tunnel to come on for the second half, I've just remembered, actually, looked up at his girlfriend and went, that's a nice cold moment. That is a nice cold moment.
There is one other thing I want to say about Palmer. And those that watch the live will notice he's now on 10 goal contributions this season, joint top with Haaland. So everyone that said that when Poch left and it's all Palmer's not going to do as well, wonder. And all the rival fans who said the same, he's going to drop off, he's not going to get as involved. Here we are. But look, thank you very much if you did tune into the live stream today, and thanks for watching the fan cam, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video and check out FOCO if you haven't. And remember to use that code that's pinned below me right now, cfctvyt, and you can get 15% off all your merch. Scotty, thanks for coming, mate. Yeah, it's been a good stream. Very good stream. Goal reactions. Make sure you watch the goal reactions on YouTube. They're going to be brilliant as well, especially that free kick. But yeah, from us, that's it. And we'll be back with you in the studio from Sunday. Cheers, guys.